What's up, guys? We are live here at Pro Play Games with BT, Bobby, Kenny. What's up, man?
Not much. Just got 4th place at the regional.
Nice, dude.
I was playing a deck, kind of sort of a custom creation. Like the deck as a whole, like the base of it is a thing, but this is like kind of an off-the-wall build. I call the deck 52 pickup. It has been 52 cards. I added in, like, you could just call it a joker. I'm at 53 today, but yeah, it's pretty much it's a Shiranui Lightshorn based thing with a bunch of other like ranked 4 synchro plays, all kinds of shenanigans.
So no ABC? Wow, I'm excited. All right, let's check it out.
All right, so the base of the deck, like the most important part is the zombie engine. You play 3 Shiranui Solitaire. This gets you to your zombie chainer, and if it's banished, it summons another Shiranui. This is probably the most important single monster in the deck. Then you have 2 Spirit Master. It's kind of like a Goblinberg / Debris Dragon type thing for your Shiranuis. If you have this guy in your graveyard or hand, this will, when you normal him, it'll bring this out, but he'll get banished when he leaves the field. But it's just another extender. The most important thing with him is if he's banished, he blows up a face-up card your opponent controls. So that's important for a lot of reasons. I'll get to those later. You play 2 Unizombie. This is what you summon with the Spirit Master, or with the Solitaire rather. And pretty much it dumps a zombie from your deck to boost a monster's level by 1, or discards a dead card out of your hand to boost a monster's level by 1. You can use each of those effects once per turn. Pretty much goal of him is to make rank 4s and level 8 synchros, mainly Cypher Omega. And then the main thing you're dumping with these are the 2 Mizukis. I've seen some builds play 3. You really don't want 3 because you never want to draw this. The next engine is the Lightshorns. Honestly, okay, disclaimer, if you don't own a Minerva, Lightshorns are really bad. They're, because of the fact that none of them can just special summon for free, they're really, really bricky cards. They rely entirely on the rest of your hand. If you don't have a Minerva, I would suggest like revamp, like you can shape this deck into more of a pure Shiranui deck and cut it down to 40 cards, and trust me, it'll still be a really good deck. So, but yeah, because I do have Minerva, we're, alright, 3 Lumina, best Lightsworn, it gets dead cards out of your hand, it enables rank 3s, it enables, like, it gets free level 4s on the board, lets you go into synchros. This thing's amazing. 2 Raiden. I used to play 3, trimmed it down to 2. Again, like, you have to normal summon these things, so they're really bricky. He's mostly there just because he's a tuner, and being able to just mill 2 during your main phase is nice. You play 3 Wolf just because you want to mill this card a lot. If you do draw it, it kind of sucks, but honestly, this card is rarely more dead than another Lightshorn because your normal summon plays are usually going to be your other cards anyway. And then 1 Lila, pretty much it's just because it's a searchable back row hate card. So like you search it out with Charge of Light Brigade or whatever, deals with back row. Emptiness sucks, so this is a good card for that. And it usually is the first step to breaking through a huge back row. Other engines play 3 Teratop and Taxenborg. Older build had fewer cards. Again, Lightsworns are bricky. I found I had too many bricks, and I was like, I can't afford to actually cut Lightsworns unless I just cut the whole thing. So I was like, alright, well let's just add more not brick cards. So any game you open this, worst case scenario, you make Dante. Usually you're making a Levier and comboing it with other stuff. Other rank 4 enablers, we have 1 Photon Thrasher, 2 Goblinberg, and this was the 53rd card I just added, Spiral Super Agent. Pretty much all these let you make a rank 4 really easily. This will summon any dead card out of your hand. You can summon this before you do the rest of your play. This guy, he says pretty much once per turn, if he's in your hand, you declare spell, trap, or monster, and you get to look at the top of your opponent's deck, and if it's the one you called, he summons, and then he activates when he summons himself to pop a back row. And he's a 19 beater, so worst case, like pretty much worst case scenario with him is you guess wrong and you know what they're drawing, but usually you'll just blind call a monster because almost every deck has just infinite monsters, and then he summons, he pops a back row, and he helps for a rank 4 play. Yeah, honestly, he's been doing amazing. I wouldn't play a rank 4 spam deck without 1 copy of him anytime in the near future. Like, he's just, like, even when he whiffs, the information he gives you is too strong. Like, I had a game where he revealed an emptiness, so he didn't summon because I called monster, but I was just able to set up my whole board to not care about emptiness. Then last things, we have Trick Clown. We have, like, he's mostly there for Brilliant Fusion, which we have 2 Garnet for. You mill a lot, you play Triple Desires, you want to make sure that your Brilliant Fusion is always live. Brilliant Fusion is probably the strongest single actual card in the deck. Anytime you open Brilliant Fusion and can resolve it, you should win. And then the last monster is 2 copies of Fairy Tale Snow. I almost want to call her your win condition in the long run. If she's in your graveyard, during either player's turn, you banish any 7 cards from your hand, field, or grave. She summons from your grave, and then when she's normal or special summon, you flip a monster your opponent controls face down. The banish synergies are really big with the Shiranuis, because you can like banish your Solitaire and your Spirit Master. Solitaire will summon the Spirit Master back to the field. The Spirit Master will pop a card, and this will flip a card face down. So then you get a free pop of Book of Moon effects and 2 monsters for free. And then sometimes when you have a bunch of mill cards, like I've had it where I just go Terra Top into Takatsun board, do all my mill stuff, happen to hit this, and then be like, oh, I'll banish something else I milled, and then Levier it back, and it's another combo extender. And then also just bring this out in the middle of the battle phase to get an extra 1850.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's really strong too.
Yeah. So that's the monsters. It's 31 monsters. Spells, 3 instant fusion, 3 Brilliant Fusion. Pretty much if you open one of these with a zombie play, you win the game. It's double Omega at the very least. Yeah, not too much to explain there. 2 charge, 3 recharge. That's just, this is your mill engine, mostly just to get as many cards in your graveyard for Snow as possible. Again, like, the Lightsworns themselves are actually terrible, so, like, if you were to trim it, most I'd play, if you don't want Minerva, most I'd play is like 2 charge and like maybe like 2 Raiden or a Raiden and a Lila. But yeah, it's just to power through your deck. Then 3 Desires. Pretty much, if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, you should be playing 3 of this card. The only deck that I can sort of make an exception for is BA, because they have a lot of like powerhouse 1-ofs that you don't want to banish like Seer. But in general, yeah, if you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, play 3 of this.
Shout out to Mike Sanders with that too.
So then we have Rhoda, Foolish, Soul Charge, 1-ofs. This searches out your Enablers or Raiden if you need it for Soul Recharge or whatever. Foolish is just utility, whatever's missing you send it. Soul Charge wins the game. Then the last spell, Gold Sark. 3 Gold Sarks. This card is super utility. Like pretty much anytime you open a rank 3 play like Terra Top, if you have this, then like this plus Terra Top is Levier plus Omega plus you haven't used your normal summon yet. You can also use this if your opponent sets up like floodgates. You use this and you bench the Spirit Master and you pop a card. And sometimes you just set up something that you want to put in your graveyard. You treat it as like Foolish so that your Omega can put it back. 2 Traps, Emptiness, another just virtually auto win card, and then Rise to Full Height. This pretty much it can like double a monster's defense and then shrink it to 0. You don't use it for that. If it's in your graveyard, you banish it, you target one of your monsters. Your opponent can't attack unless they attack that monster. So you target Omega, then you banish your Omega, and then they can't attack period because the Omega's not, the only thing they can attack isn't on the field. And then Omega just puts this back in your graveyard and you keep doing it. Yeah, so that's a deck, 53 cards. Extra deck, we have Norden, Seraphinite for the fusion spells, double Omega, these are the only level 8s I play. I used to play Scarlet, but it didn't come up often enough. Usually I just want to make a rank 4. Then level 7s, we have Michael, just really handy spot removal. Sometimes you'll be in a situation where you'll just synchro into it for the mill 3, usually when you're low on cards for Snow. But for the most part, you're just making it to banish something. No one expects this card, Black Rose Dragon. There are games where your opponent will just let you set up a level 7 synchro play. They can do something to stop you before you make it, but they don't think about Black Rose and you just drop it and you win the game. That happens way too often. Like, especially against like Blue Eyes, they'll be like floating on their stuff, and they could just tag into Azure Eyes before you make this, but they aren't thinking about it, and then you just drop it and nuke the board and you win. Then Xyz, you play Levier and Dante for the Terra Tops and the Luminas. This thing is probably the most summoned Xyz in the entire deck. Just because, like, worst case scenario, you're recycling your Mizukis or whatever, but usually it's comboing with your Snow or your Gold Sarks. This is mostly just a fallback. I actually side a couple extra deck cards, and this is usually what comes out. Minerva, like I said, if you're playing Lightsworns, play it. If you don't play Lightsworns.
No hard case or nothing.
Like, I had to take it out for the YCS, so it's like at this point. Then the rest is mostly generic stuff. Direwolf, spot removal, Castell, another spot removal, outs problems. Utopian Lightning for getting over big things and just sealing games. Like, there's lots of times where your opponent will leave something in attack mode and not realize that because of that you just make this and kill them. Especially when you're like, you do this to do a ton of damage and then you like Snow or whatever for surprise damage. Rhapsody and Berserk. This is actually really good against most of the field. Against Blue Eyes, you banish their Whitestone of the Ancients or their what's it called? The Return of the Dragon Lord, so that it can't protect their monsters. Against ABC, it's especially relevant because if they tag out when in response to like your Black Rose or whatever, they get stuff to their hand, but a lot of the time you can just banish pieces from their graveyard, so they can drop an ABC without going way out of their way. And then again with Black Rose against Metal Foes, a lot of time you'll be able to Black Rose the Metal Foe board, and then they'll their only way of rebuilding is to add skills from their extra deck with counter. But if the counters just went there that turn, you make the Rhapsody and banish them, and they can't chain it. So then it just leaves them on nothing. Last card in the extra deck is Bujinki Amaterasu. Pretty much this unclogs your board, and it's essentially a Leviair, but it takes 3 level 4s instead of 2 level 3s. But you can also use its effect during your opponent's turn, but instead of summoning it, adds a banished card to your hand. So a lot of the time you can use that to restock extra deck cards that you banished with Snow, or especially games 2 and 3, I side hand traps, and this is amazing with hand traps. Like I had a game where I milled a Snow and a Ghost Reaper, and then I banished the Ghost Reaper for Snow, made this, added the Reaper back to my hand, and then Reapered their ABC. So yeah, that's the extra deck. Side deck, Maxi. Pretty much, if it's not a trap deck, you side this in. If it is a trap deck, you don't. Then 3 Twin Twisters. Pretty much, if you aren't siding Maxi, you're siding Twin Twister. The only deck I'd side both in against is maybe Metal Foes, maybe. And I'm still on the fence about playing Maxi against them. 3 Ghost Reaper, and to go with it, the ABC Dragon Buster. This card is really stupid, so if you manage to resolve this against the deck, you just win the game. And I'm main decking the Dante, which is the other relevant matchup. I was debating playing the Spirit Dragon for Blue Eyes, but I don't feel Spirit Dragon hurts nearly enough to justify the side deck spot. Yeah, pretty much when this comes in, I side out the Dante, because like I said, it's the weakest thing, and you don't need it against ABC. Then I side the Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller was the other thing that in testing I almost never summoned, so I put the Amaterasu in its place. This is in the side. This comes in against BA and Mermills, and that's about it. And then 2 Book of Eclipse and Raigeki. I opted to play these instead of Kaiju because they deal with multiple cards, and especially against like other Omega decks, this is insane against Omega because you flip it down before they can recycle their banished cards. And Raigeki's just Raigeki, so. And then I played 2 Skull Prisoner. This was kind of experimental. The thought was you bring this in against Magic Specters and like anything playing Kirin and ABCs, and it can protect your cards from Kirin or ABC Dragon Buster. But in practice, it was a little bit too slow. If I was playing like this card's really good in Phantom Knight variants. So that's why I was testing in here. But like this deck's a little bit faster, so I wouldn't be playing this again. But yeah, that's side deck, so yeah, that's 52 pickup. Yeah, just shenanigans. Yeah, so.
Really interesting deck. Thank you for sharing that with us. You have any shout outs?
Not in particular. I guess shout out to Josh Babarnik. He was the one who lent me the Ghost Reapers. So, and the Ghost Reapers won me almost all my ABC matches. So, but yeah, like I guess shout out to guys back at TCG Player too. Yeah, so.
All right. Thank you for the deck profile. Appreciate it. Hope to see a lot more from you in the future, man. Thank you.
Yep.